You're listening to episode 19 of the Afros and Pixie Dust podcast, Run Mama Run with Jocelyn. Hey Dis friends, welcome to episode 19 of the Afros and Pixie Dust podcast. I am your host, June. This week, Disney announced the televised Wonderful World of Disney presentation of The Little Mermaid in concert, and it will be featuring songs from the animated and Broadway versions of the story. So a lot of people were like, this too much? More Little Mermaid news? However, this was originally supposed to air in 2017, but the project got postponed, and so now it's back. And it will be airing on November 5th at 8 p.m. So I'm really excited for that. And the reason why I'm excited for that is the cast. So far, they've announced Ali'i Carvalho as Ariel, making her the second person of color to play Ariel on screen. Kudos. And Queen Latifah as Ursula. And she has been at the top of many people's lists to play her in the actual live action movie. So it's great to see her in this format. And the casting announcement that I am most excited for is Shaggy, Mr. Boombastic, my guy, is going to be playing Sebastian. I am so hyped. I cannot wait to see this show just for that. So once again, if you guys are excited about the casting, if you want to see how it's done, it will be airing on November 5th on ABC at 8 p.m. And don't get this confused with the actual live action Little Mermaid movie. It is not the same. It is more kind of a theatrical production with the music from the shows being highlighted. Also happening this past week, the Disney Channel premiered the third installment of the Descendants movie franchise. And my daughter and I have been jamming to it ever since. She was too young for High School Musical. Descendants is her franchise. That is what she's growing up on. And I love watching it with her and getting into the stories because it's so much fun to see her dance to the songs and talk about character development. Y'all, she goes in. If you haven't seen it yet, please go check it out. It is very fun to watch, and it has a beautifully diverse cast, including China McClain, Sarah Jeffrey, and the late Cameron Boyce, who was an absolute Disney icon. In addition to playing Carlos in The Descendants, Cameron also starred in the Disney Channel series Jessie and Bunked as Luke Ross. And he's also the voice of Jake in Jake and the Neverland Pirates. His legacy will live on through his work and the lives he's touched. And it was bittersweet watching him in this film, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. Lastly, earlier this week, it was announced that Rudy Novotny, who is the longtime announcer for runDisney, will no longer be working with the runDisney organization. If you've ever run a runDisney race, Rudy was that person that was cracking jokes to get you pumped at 5 o'clock in the morning and also counting you down to either start your run or get your camera ready to catch the firework display for each new corral start. Rudy had come to know many of the runners by name by meeting them at the expos, and he would even give them a shout out if he saw them in the corrals. And it's unfortunate to see him go, and I do wish him all the best. You can still catch Rudy announcing at many other races around the country, so you avid runners should not fret. He is still out there. He's just not working for runDisney. They have decided to move in a different direction with changing in executive management. So we will see what their plans are. This brings us to this week's guest. This week's guest is Jocelyn. She is a Florida native who is currently residing in Georgia. Two of her biggest passions are Disney and running, so needless to say, she loves to run Disney. She has participated in countless runDisney races since 2014, and her passion has inspired her twin brother to also start running. So now it's a family affair. I participated in a few runDisney races myself, and I'm pretty sure I've seen her on the course a time or two, because y'all know me, I'll be out there looking for y'all. But I've never felt the courage to actually go up to another person of color runner and say hello. So I found Jocelyn's page on Instagram and started following her, and I just enjoy watching her run with her family, including her son. And so I'm so excited that you guys get to hear our conversation. So without further ado, let's get into that conversation with Jocelyn. Hello, Jocelyn. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Yes, I'm happy to have you on to talk about running.
Yay. That is so exciting to everybody. Running what?
So let's start off with you telling us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. I'll try not to talk too much. I am a talker.
It's
My
okay.
husband always gets on me about that. But my name is Jocelyn. I am originally from the Panama City area, so I'm a Florida native. And I currently live in Warner Robins, Georgia, which is about an hour from Atlanta, with my husband and my little man cub, who's 3. That's about it. That's me in a nutshell. And I love running, so.
That's great. So when did your love of Disney first start?
Ooh, this was a conversation me and my mom had like a week or so ago. I was like, Mom, when is the first time, we went to Disney? So I can kind of figure out when I started to like Disney. And of course she gave me that, oh, you're like 6 months old. And I'm like, huh? I was like, yeah. Like a lot of people, we went to Disney a couple of times a year, being from Florida. We would drive down Thanksgiving, of course, during the summer. But I want to say when I actually became a pass holder about 8 years ago, I think, was like when I actually fell in love with it, being able to go when I want, the pass holder perks, and just getting the whole Disney feel, I guess. So.
Yeah, I did the pass holder life for about 1 year. I did 1 year
Mm-hmm.
as a pass holder, and I mean, it's just a different feeling. It's like,
Yeah,
you feel fancy.
you feel like royalty. You're like, I'm a pass holder. Like I know Disney. So
Right? It's like you got your own little
yeah,
special entrance.
yep.
You just like
So
flash it. Oh, go on through, you
yeah.
know.
Or even like with merchandise, when somebody's like, "Oh, where'd you get that?" You're like, "Oh, I'm a pass holder." So this was like a pass holder perk, and they're like, "Oh." So it was kind of good. It was kind of
Yeah,
good.
it's a nice little way to floss.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Definitely.
mean, for the price, I better be getting these perks, shoot.
Exactly.
And game.
And I'll tell you, we became pass holders because what we were spending, like, just on like little short trips, it was like, let's invest in this and let's see if this works, if it's worth our money. So and it turned out to be. So here I
Yeah.
am.
If I could go more often, I would definitely have renewed it. But
Mm-hmm.
I haven't even been to Walt Disney World, and this year, oh my
Oh
God,
no.
it's been the longest I think since I've not been in the park, so I could cry.
Well, I'll tell you, lots of changes, good things. So, of course, that keeps me wanting to renew because just the changes in the park themselves, it makes you want to keep going back. So, when you do go, there are a lot of new things you're going to see. So, that's kind of good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to catch everything. I think the one big thing I'm a little disappointed about is I won't be able to catch Illuminations one more time
Mm-hmm.
before it goes, but it's okay. That's what
Yeah.
television is for and YouTube, right?
Yeah. I am not a fan of Illuminations. I can take it or leave it. Go ahead.
I'm sure whatever
I
comes
understand it.
afterwards will be good, but
Yes.
I really liked it.
Well, one of those is like, okay, you guys ready to go? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So, we catch it on the way out of the parks. So
Okay, so yeah, you're like, oh, it's time to
I was
go
like,
beat the
don't kill
crowd.
me. Don't kill me.
So, what would you say is your favorite Disney movie or show?
uh, so I don't want to give away my age, but as far as in Disney movie, okay, Lion King, and I mean the original animated has to be my absolute favorite. Love the music, just love the storyline. As far as in shows, I'm gonna take it back a little bit to Chippendale Rescue Rangers and Darkwing Duck. like I used to watch those coming home from school. So not the ones they have now, but the original ones. They were the best. So
Yeah, I was a big fan of Chippendales and Darkwing Duck, so I'm right there with you.
we would come home from school and fix a snack, and they would be on TV, and so we would like have to watch them.
I feel like Saturday morning cartoons aren't what they used to be, or even after school cartoons. I'm like, I mean, my kids, they get home, they do their
Uh
homework, and
huh.
then it's the iPad. It's like, it's
Yeah.
not the same.
Yeah. And I tried to watch the new, I guess, new version of DuckTales with my son, and I'm like, what is this? So I
Oh,
can't get into it. But
I like it.
no, it just seems so generic. I don't know. It just
Mhm.
looks different. But maybe I have to give it another try, because he is 3, so we do have a while to watch cartoons, but I just wasn't feeling it. I've been trying though. I've been trying.
It's different, but I do enjoy the route that they took with it. I think it.
Okay.
So you know how a lot of times they'll make cartoons watchable for adults and kids. So like there's things
Mm-hmm.
that the kids won't necessarily get, but the adults will get, so they kind of stay entertained. I like
Mm-hmm.
when cartoons take that route because you can even grow with them. Like as a kid, you'll watch them, and then when you watch them again as you get older, you're like, oh, I totally missed that, you know?
Uh,
So I feel like the current DuckTales does that, and
oh, okay.
I like it. I don't know.
Yeah, we've only watched like 2 episodes, and then he's like, "Mommy, Toy Story." I'm like, "Okay, sounds good."
Oh, okay. So
So we'll
he's
have to
not up
get
on it yet. That's cool. That's cool.
no.
So would you say there are any characters that you identify with?
um, not necessarily identify with. Of course, every black loves Tiana, and I do too. I have not love her, um, but I relate not necessarily. But I really like Minnie Mouse. I tend to like do a lot of Minnie Mouse themed stuff. So she's not a princess, but she's my favorite.
I think that's the first time I've gotten a Minnie Mouse.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even though she's semi nonverbal most of the time,
Uh,
but but I just like the character. She's always happy, and I guess kind of a fixer. So because that's what I am. That's my role in our family. So I relate. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean she's a boss. She got her boutique and she's, a style
Right.
icon and yeah.
And technically, she was the first.
Yeah,
She was here before all of your other female characters. So I can't help but to like her.
right. Yeah, she was an OG. She is the OG, the original. So
Exactly. Yeah.
that's
So
true.
you think Disney, you think Minnie Mouse. And so I've just always been drawn to her. Mm.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Minnie Mouse, you're getting your due. That is
Yes.
true. Originator. Um, so how often do you go to the parks?
uh, so we live about 4.5 hours away. So again, back to the pass holder thing, to make it worth our while for having them, we try to go once a month. But it's kind of one of those things. If I'm having a bad week at work, I'm telling my husband like, "Hey, this weekend, me and the little one, we're going to Disney." So once or twice a month, which is I don't think bad. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not bad at all. I mean, especially with the 4-hour drive, it's not.
Mhm.
It's like a nice little weekend getaway.
Oh
Hop
yeah,
hop down, hop back.
yeah.
Yeah. We drove down
And then
once, I think, and I don't think we can do it again. It was,
yeah,
I mean,
from New York, right?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
far. It was rough.
Yeah. So we still own like some property in Tampa. So sometimes we'll drive down to Tampa, because it's only an hour away from the parks, stay there, and then drive back over. So that helps a lot too. That we don't always have that like hotel cost. So
Yeah, that's definitely a
yeah,
game changer because the lodging is no joke.
yeah,
I mean, there's like
yes,
options to choose from, but if every time you go down you have to pay for some place to stay, it can add
it,
up for sure.
it gets expensive.
Yeah. So what are some of your favorite things that you like to do when you're in the parks?
So some of the favorites must do character photos. I love taking pictures. So we must do that. A lot of times I'll tell you we sit and people watch, especially since our kids are kind of smaller. I may let my brother take my son and his girls on the ride, and me and my mom will sit and watch people. So, it can be very interesting at Disney.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah. I like to people watch too sometimes. It's it's fun. It's a fun pastime.
Yeah, it's fun to kind of be like, or even to listen to some conversations around you while you're in Disney. So it's always
Yes.
fun to.
I think there's a whole like Instagram page or Facebook page about Overheard at Disney. And
Really?
it's just like random conversations that you hear.
Oh wow, I've
Yeah.
got to find that because
Yeah.
I know they people probably hear our conversations sometimes too and think like, oh my god, these people are crazy. But that's just us.
Right. And it's like it's just random context. You might hear a few phrases and you're just like, what? Yeah. But I mean it's people from all over come.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, it can just I'm sure it ranges.
well, I love to hear the comparison on, well, Disneyland has this, but this is at Disney, so it's good to hear those conversations, which, of course, I'm partial to Disney World. I've only been to Disneyland once, but I seem to think that Disney World's better. So,
Yeah. I mean, I'm same here. That's Disney World is my home park, so that's what I know.
yeah,
And I mean, I love it there.
yeah,
We'll see. We'll see if my heart can grow a little bit more.
exactly. Definitely.
Yeah, we'll definitely see this summer. Uh, so, you're a Walt Disney World native.
Mhm.
Which park would you say is your favorite?
Um, Adult me says Epcot. Um, definitely because you get to drink. But close second is Animal Kingdom. So only because that's my son's favorite park. But those two are like neck and neck. I love them. I can go to them every day. I do not get tired of Epcot or Animal Kingdom. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like those two. I mean, all the parks are amazing, but I mean, Epcot and Animal Kingdom, they're just kind of like they
More
get
laid
you
back.
in a different way.
Yeah. And like for us, when we think in terms of like all of our friends, when they go down, they go to Magic Kingdom. So to us, it's like a very crowded park we want to avoid. So we can still go to Epcot, Hollywood Studios, or Animal Kingdom and enjoy. So if I've got to pick, I'm like, okay, well, hey, let's definitely go to Animal Kingdom today, or let's go to Epcot. But we try to avoid Magic Kingdom. That's again, people are gonna kill me. That's like the last park I want to go to.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I don't blame you, especially when you go often.
mhm. So
You wanna you don't if you can avoid a crowd, if you can get everything that you want to get done.
and everybody's happy, definitely.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
I feel like uh, I really haven't gotten into the food
mhm.
situation in Animal Kingdom like I should. So that's definitely something I need to work on.
Definitely, I will say the food at Animal Kingdom probably is one of our favorite, especially Yak and Yeti. My mom loves the barbecue spot that's in Animal Kingdom. I can't think of the name of it right now, but that's like two of the places
Oh,
we definitely like to eat at.
Flame
Out of
Tree?
yeah, Flame Street. My
Okay.
mom loves there, so we tend to eat there quite a lot.
Okay. Yeah. I've tried Flame Tree before.
Yeah, I tend to like Yak and Yeti a little better. Plus, it's inside; it's out of the heat. But she's a Southern girl. She loves her barbecue and stuff like that. So we go
Okay.
there.
So you are a Run Disney woman.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah. When did you start running Disney?
Uh, I started running Disney 2015. I've always, let me say, run a little bit. In high school, some in college, but then once, I graduated college, I picked up the sport of running, doing more distance running, half marathons, 10Ks, a couple of marathons. And one weekend, I want to say it was in 2014, I'm getting my dates wrong now. 2013, I ran across the Walt Disney World Marathon. We were there for that weekend, and I was like, oh man, I want to run. Unbeknownst to me, people sign up for these races a year in advance. I do, to run. So, fast forward to 2014, I ran my first Princess 10K while I was pregnant with my son. That was my first Disney race. And the rest is kind of like history. Um, I've been hooked ever since. So if there's a race weekend, I'm signing up for it. Unfortunately, I was only able to run one race weekend in Disneyland before they canceled those races. And that was the last Tinkerbell race. So, I was glad I got to experience that. Hopefully they'll bring those races back soon, because it was different running on the West Coast. It was actually pretty cool. So
Yeah. The weather is probably better.
it was. Most people don't know, for the Run Disney races at Walt Disney World, you're up at like 2:30 in the morning to even start a race that begins at 5:30. So just to be on the West Coast and not be up in the dark, it was great. It was great.
So what time do they start the Disneyland races?
I think the Disneyland races start about, well, I think they might start at 5, but for us East Coast people, we were already awake. So it's not like, you're struggling to get up in the dark, like I said, at 2 o'clock in the morning. I think when we ran the Disneyland race, I didn't sleep because, I was just off on the time change. So, but it made a big difference. I was not as exhausted, but it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome. So how many races have you done?
Disney races.
Yeah.
Oh man. I have did officially 3 full marathons, which is 26 miles at Walt Disney. And that's a lot. So Disney is the only marathon I do now a year because it's a lot on my body. But I would say I have did since 2014 about a little over 20. So, it's been, you don't do a race until you've done a Disney race. That's what I tell all my run friends. I was like, nobody puts on a race like Disney, to be able to run and see some of your favorite characters, sometimes to see characters that you weren't normally see in the park. So that's always exciting. You get to run through all 4 of the parks and see some of the behind the scenes things that you wouldn't normally see during the day, which I think is really cool as well. So
I've done, how many races have I done? I'm actually staring at my medals right now.
well, I tried to count, but I was like, you know what? I can't do this. So I just was like, whatever. I know I've done at least 20. Because most of the time I run the challenges, which, if people don't know, Disney does normally 3 races on a race weekend: a 5K on Friday, 10K on Saturday, and a half marathon on Sunday. And then they have a challenge, which is the 10 and a half marathon, which that's what I normally run. So I'll run on Saturday, and run on Sunday. So if you do that times 2 times since 2014, it kind of lets you know how many I've run. So
It adds
quite a
up.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah. If I count my medals, I've done about 6 or 7. It depends, because I did the Castaway Key 5K.
Nice.
And I've done like a fun run in the resorts. So
Okay,
if you
cool.
count those, I've done about 7.
Oh yeah, I forgot about those. Like the one at my favorite is the one at Port Orleans, of course.
Yes,
Because
that's the one, the beignet dash.
yeah, that's the favorite. So
Yes, I love that one. It's so
so we
good.
actually try to do that like every time we're down and we're staying on a Sunday. It's like, are we gonna go run and get free beignets? So
Yeah.
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, I love that one. So what
Mhm.
would you say is like your favorite thing about Run Disney races?
Um, favorite thing. I love that it's a family event, or we make it one. Our kids. Well, when I say we, I introduced my brother to running, my twin, 2 years ago. he was seeing me get up and run these races. He's like, it can't be that fun. I'm like, dude, try one. So he signed up for a Princess 10K with me in 17. And he has been hooked on Run Disney ever since. Also, our kids run the kids races normally on Saturday mornings. So we make it like a family weekend of running. So that's one of the favorite things I like about Run Disney compared to my non-Disney races. My son gets to dress up. I dress up like we have a blast. So
Yeah. What kind of outfits do you prefer? Do you like to do the tutus? Do you do the full on looks?
yeah, I do. Well, normally for my 10K, I do the full on looks, but then the half marathons are a little, of course, longer. So I tend to just go with a tutu and just a t-shirt. Now my son, I full out have him in costume. He's gonna hate me when he becomes a teenager because he's gonna look back at the pictures and be like, "Mom, why?" But we definitely do the kids in the full on. And then I said myself, it just depends on the weather because sometimes it can be extremely hot. Like in January during the marathon weekend, you don't want to be in, well, some people do. I don't want to be in a full costume running 26 miles. So, but generally tutu slash full costume, depending on the mood and the theme of the weekend. So,
Yeah. So how many races has your son run?
well, my son did his first race when he was 16 months, and he's about to be 4 in August. So he has did over 10. So
Wow.
yeah, I mean, he's so excited. He's like, "Mommy, are we gonna run?" And like, you got to see him. I normally video, and like I said, my brother, he's amazing. He runs with the kids, so he like has to hold him because he's like a little Energizer bunny. He wants to go. He just wants to run so fast, you know. So they really love it, and that makes me love it because they love it.
Yeah. So which races has he done?
Uh, he's did the well with the kids races. He's did like I said, every race weekend. So to non Disney runners, there's the Wine and Dine weekend, which is normally in November around Food and Wine. There's the big weekend, which is Walt Disney World weekend in January. Princess half marathon weekend in February, and then Star Wars in April. So he's actually did all of those. He generally runs the 100 meter. We ran the 200 meter this past April at Star Wars, and we're training for the 1 mile in November. I don't know if we'll make it because he still gets a little tired, but Disney's cool. If he can't run a mile, we can always drop down to one of the shorter races.
Yeah. That
So
would be amazing. He does a
yeah, well,
mile.
yeah, he trains with me and he gets a little distracted because we run here in Georgia around the lake and there's ducks. So he's like, "Mommy, duck," and I'm like, "Dude, focus,"
Yeah.
So
Oh
yeah.
wow. My kids have done one event. They did um around Wine and Dine weekend in I
Hmm.
want to say 2016.
Hmm.
They did the kids races there. My son was just hit one. He was like
Hmm.
14 months. So he couldn't do like the crawl, the diaper dash.
Yeah.
He had to walk and he was so pissed at me.
Oh, I'll tell you, I enjoy the kids races more than I enjoy my own, and I think that's one of the main reasons why I keep running. Like it's so cute to see the little kids dressed up, and it was so cute this year. No, it was last year, Star Wars 2018. I dressed my son up as a little Chewbacca. Well, we found a little Ray, and her mom was like, "Oh my God, we've got to take pictures." So I have the cutest picture of my son is a little Chewie and a little Ray, and then they ran by each other and stuff. But I was just like, my heart melted. So it's
Oh,
so fun to see the little kids dressed up and to see them running. I think the parents are more excited about that than, like I said, my own race.
yeah.
So
And then I think the action around the kids races, the energy is
yes.
it's so cute. It's so
Yeah.
much fun. I mean, the energy around all the Run Disney races are amazing, but it's better when it's daylight and
Yes.
you got some rest. in the kids races as opposed to like in the adult races where they just kind of
Yes.
pump you up so that
Yes.
you can get this thing going and you're not
Right.
waiting in a huge giant line.
Right. At like I said, at 3 o'clock in the morning. And have you ever done the Walt Disney World weekend?
I have not. That's
Yeah.
on my bucket list.
Oh my goodness. Well, I can, like I said, I'm gonna shout out my brother. He did the Dopey challenge this year. I don't
Wow.
know how he got up 4 days in a row at 2 o'clock in the morning to go run. Kudos to him and everybody that does it. I haven't been able to do that yet. So I have
Do you
not
want
tried.
to explain what the Dopey challenge
Okay.
is?
So the Dopey challenge is probably Disney's biggest weekend. It was the first Run Disney weekend, as a matter of fact, Run Disney event, and they did 25-year anniversary last year, I think. I'm getting my years mixed up, but it's the weekend where you run a 5K, 10K, half, and full marathon over 4 days, and of course, it's called the Dopey Challenge because anybody that does that has to be dopey. Um, they also have a goofy challenge, which is a half marathon and a full marathon. That is what I participated in this year while my brother ran the dopey. So if you ever want to do something crazy and dopey, it's probably it in terms of Run Disney. So getting up 4 days in a row at 2 o'clock in the morning to go run.
Yes, I that is on my bucket list to do. I'm maybe getting too far out to be able to. No, I'm not gonna say that.
But
That's on my bucket list to do.
yes,
I'm
you can
going
do
to
it.
achieve it one day.
Will you let me
Um,
know? I'll sign up with you
oh
because right now
please,
I don't
I'm gonna
have it
need
on my.
all the motion. I'm gonna need all the support. So
Yes,
for real, we
yes,
gotta make a group out of this and like
yes,
push each other.
yeah. So
The I was so last year, right? 2018. Last year for Wine and Dine, I did do the perfect race. So
nice.
I did the 5K, the 10K, and the
Hmm.
half. And I mean, I was so nervous because I didn't really train as much as I wanted to for
Hmm.
this. But maybe it was the adrenaline. I don't know. I mean, I was just so proud of myself for finishing. I did not think I was gonna be able to finish, and I
Yes.
did. I mean, I dressed up too. I didn't go overboard, but
Oh, nice.
I dressed up for every race,
Mm.
and I mean, I just couldn't believe I did it.
Yeah.
So, Dopey, I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
Do it. And I'll tell you, as a runner, of course, because I have to run other races to help me with my Disney runs because they're only for a year, and I like to keep in shape. But there is no support like the support you get at a Disney race from
Yeah.
the cast members, from the other runners. I mean, um, true story. 2016, um, after I had my son, Princess weekend was my first big weekend back after having my son. And I'll never forget, I was on the course and I was like at mile 10. I had been going through a little bit of postpartum depression with my son, and I was just bawling on the course. And the lady grabbed me, you got this. And some random stranger to this day, I don't know her name, but you get that a lot on races. If somebody sees you struggling, they're like, hey, I'm going to help you finish. So the good thing about it, not telling you not to go out there and train, but there's a lot of support, especially for new runners. So that's what I like about Disney.
Yeah. It's so crazy because I actually started running to help get through postpartum depression myself. My
Wow.
first race was for the Wine and Dine in 2016.
Oh, wow.
And I was training. I got up every morning. I would pump because my son didn't
Hmm.
breastfeed, and that was another part of me, like of my whole postpartum depression.
Hmm.
I would have to pump several times a day and try to manage two kids and then go to
Wow.
work. And I would get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning
Hmm.
every day, pump and run. But the running was so therapeutic.
It is my stress
And
relief. It definitely
yeah,
is.
and just to get to to do it, to achieve this goal. And when I finished that race, oh God,
Did you
I was
cry?
a little bit. I shed a thug tear. Just like one tear came down my cheek. And I mean, it was such an amazing accomplishment. But
Hmm.
the encouragement and just to see the energy of all the other runners,
Yes.
also it just pushes you to keep going.
Yes.
And my most recent race, also for the wine and dine for last year, I was running, and this was the challenge. This was my third race, and I was like, "Oh, girl, you better finish. That you gotta finish." And I had run with a group, but I told them just go, because I
Mhm.
was not trying to keep up with their pace, and I was just going at my own pace. And someone just started running up next to me. It was like, all right, let's
Yep.
just keep pace with this group. And we just started talking and running. We run, walk, keep up the pace. And we
Yeah.
did this for like 2 or 3 miles.
Mhm.
And then he was like, okay, I'll see you later. I'm gonna go go to the medical tent and get some whatever. And that was it. And that's what I needed to get over the hump, because there's some parts of the course that gets
Are a little
boring.
dead. Yeah.
A little boring,
Yeah.
when you're not in the park sometimes, or when you're going up a hill. It
Yep.
you kind of got to get that extra fortitude.
Oh
And
yeah.
sometimes they just spot you in the crowd and say, you know what, I'm gonna run with this
Yes,
person.
that
Or
person needs it, and I'm one of those people that I'm a talker. Even when I
yeah.
run, and my brother hates this, he hates to run with me. But I look for that person that needs that. And so I start talking. And I know they're probably like, oh my God, how is she running and talking? And would she leave me alone? But it helps them in the end, because I've had so many people say, man, thank you. I needed that. And I'll give them that look like, you're okay. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, well, enjoy your race. And then off I go. Not that I'm super fast or anything, but
Right.
you know, especially our people of color. If I see you, I'm like, hey, girl, yay. I like to see other Black runners. So,
Yes. Yeah, I do that little, do 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 do, where y'all at. Yeah, I try to look out for y'all too. And I want to say I might have probably seen you,
probably like,
like after the fact, like, oh, that was probably her.
yeah. And I'm a zigzagger through the crowd sometimes, not bad, but it's just, I'm singing, and like, I just love, I love the atmosphere. Like I said, I run different races, but I always love the energy of Disney. So,
Yeah, yeah, and the audience, the people that are cheering you on. I mean, I love it. I love how Disney will bring out like a whole marching band
yes.
and a DJ.
Yes.
And I mean, you gotta love to hate them, but they'll bring out the Green Army men
Yeah.
and they'll like sing. I feel like they always single me out.
Really?
Maybe it's my outfit, but I feel like they always single me out. Talking about, hey, one time I was Mrs. Incredible. They're like, yeah, you got to be a little more incredible than that or whatever. I'm like, listen, you are mile like 8. Leave me alone. But yeah, I really love how they sprinkle that little motivation throughout the race. And then for me, one of the hardest things about the Run Disney race is trying to fit in the photo ops.
Yes.
Are you a photo op person? Do you
I
stop for pictures?
am. I am. Back to again, I run other races so that I can submit a good time to be in the higher corrals to stop for pictures. Um, if nobody knows, I'm going to give it to you. There's a high price tag on Disney races. So if I'm spending the money, I'm stopping for the pictures. Definitely stopping for the pictures. And again, you see characters would not normally see. I'm trying to think about some of the ones that I've gotten. Um, Star Wars, for example, getting good pictures with Chewbacca, getting some with the Ewoks, just character pictures you wouldn't get on a normal day going to the parks. So I definitely stop.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So just to explain it, when you sign up for a Run Disney race,
mhm.
you submit your time, and you have to submit a proof of your average running time by submitting a previous race that you've done within the year.
Correct.
And the shorter your time is,
Mhm.
the further up in the line you get to start.
Correct. Yes.
I always end up in the last one.
Hey, it's okay, because
Because the only race I run is the Disney race.
I'll tell you, some of my best friends are Run Disney friends now. and Disney lovers. And they are in the same position. They're like, one of these days, I'm going to run a race other than Disney to get a good proof of time. And they don't.
Yeah,
They end up in the back. They take what pictures they can and they just try to finish. So,
right.
you know.
Yeah, I feel like I've always been able to get the pictures I want,
Mhm.
but there's been sometimes I've gotten on a line and I'm like, I got to get off the
Yeah.
line. I got to keep moving.
Well, since I've started running with my brother, and here's a little tip: find somebody who's fast, have them wait in the line for you, and you take pictures together. So that's what I've started to do for me and my brother. I kind of run ahead a little bit, get in line, so that way by the time he comes, like we can get that photo op and then move on to the next spot. So
Oh, that's a good tip. That's a good tip.
yeah.
Okay, I got to find a rabbit.
Yep. I mean, we do it like for all the races. In um several Disney groups, of course, run Disney groups, and that's what we kind of figure out. So who's going to be where, and so we're texting during the race, like, "Hey, I'm at this stop. Does anybody want this?" If it's a yes, somebody waits. If it's a no, we move on. But it helps everybody get a great experience, and of course, it's all about the pictures, getting the pictures you want.
Yeah. And I've seen people text each other like, oh, such and such is at
Yeah.
mile 7. So, okay, you know what? I'm going to pass this one because I want to definitely make it to that one. Or,
Yes.
yeah, that's true.
So
Yeah.
my biggest regret 2 years ago, because I remember this year, and they haven't been out since. Princess half marathon weekend, they had all of the characters from Princess and Frog. They had like 4 or 5 of them, and I was like, no, I need to keep going. My time's bad, and I regret not stopping. So, because I haven't seen it the last 2 years, I have not seen all of the characters out at a race, and I'm like, no. So,
Oh, I
yeah.
think that's the one I did. I think I did that one. It
So
was the 10th anniversary.
yes, but and yep, they had
Yeah.
the alligator, they had Naveen, they had Tiana, and one other big character. I'm trying to think, but because when you're running, you're focused. But I kind of paused for a minute, and I was like, "No, I'll keep going." And then at the end of the race, I was seeing some other pictures from friends, and I was like, "I should have stopped." So
Oh,
I was crushed.
yeah. So that year, I actually dressed up as Charlotte LeBeau,
Nice.
because I was like, she was a princess for a day,
Yeah.
so she counts.
Yes, she
And
does.
that's, to this day, that's my one of my favorite outfits, Disney outfits, period. But
Yeah.
it's my favorite one Disney outfit. And when I saw Tiana, I was like, Tiana, do you know who I am? And she was like, of course I know
Okay.
who you are. I was like,
See, and
so
that's
that,
another
yeah,
thing.
that one was a good year.
Yes, and the interactions with the characters is great too. So, you get, not that you have so much time, but it's still fun.
Yes,
So,
yes, yes.
yeah.
That one was a really good year. I probably went a little extra.
Uh-huh.
I brought glitter with me.
Oh gosh.
Because I don't know if you remember the scene in Princess and the Frog where like Charlotte, when Naveen finally shows up and she like powders her face and she throws glitter
Shut
so that
up.
she can like look the part when she's walking down the stairs.
So, did you apply it before, during the race, or like
I had a bag of jumbo glitter
shut
that I was
up.
running along the course with, and every time I'd stop for a picture, I would throw the glitter and pose.
Oh my goodness. So, the only time I've ever ran with a true prop, I did a Tiana barista um for Wine and Nine last year. So I ran with this Starbucks cup. I really wanted to chunk that thing by the end of the race, but I was like, how do people run with stuff in their hands like that? But I got some nice photos because every photo I was sipping out of the cup, like different little things. But I'm like, my God, how does people do? Because people get creative. If anybody's ever looked at those pictures from Run Disney, look, I have one friend in particular that she always goes way out. Like she was Flounder from The Little Mermaid. She was Sebastian from The Little Mermaid, but her costumes are always elaborate. Her and another friend were monorails, and I'm like, you guys are gonna run with that, and they do. So it's pretty cool.
Wow. Yeah, yeah. It's commitment. It's a
Yes,
commitment.
yes,
So it's like you gotta focus on finishing and then focus on finishing in style. It's a
yes.
whole nother level. but it's so much fun.
It is.
I love it. I love seeing the costumes. I love seeing
Mhm.
what people come up with. I love the group costumes.
Yes, I did a group. We did Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and we had at the time our friend, she was pregnant, so she was a pregnant Snow. We actually had the poison apple. We had the mirror. I was one of the dwarfs. I think I was sleepy, but it was crazy because we like were down to the evil queen. We did that was probably my favorite group costume. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. I did the Sugar Rush Racers from Run
Oh,
Yourself.
nice.
Yeah, because I was like, we're running, so we might as well be the racers. And
Yeah.
we did Vanellope Von Streets, obviously.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh, we did Minty Zaki. We did Taffeta. Uh,
Nice.
oh my gosh, I don't know if I can remember all of them, but I ended up being Turbo.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So I was like, of course I'm gonna be the bad guy. So I was like, I was Turbo in his white and red outfit.
Oh man.
But it was so much fun. It was
Yeah.
so much fun to like put it together. And
Yeah.
I dragged my coworkers. That was all my coworkers from
Oh
work. And
man.
we all went down and we ran and we dressed up. It was such a fun trip. Like, I mean,
And
for the
my
record books.
yeah, my other run friends who don't run Disney, they're like, "What's the big hype?" I'm like, first off, I get to dress up and not look stupid. Okay, like if I go to the New York City Marathon and I've got on, a costume, you know, people would look at me weird. But I said that's part of it, and then you can turn it into something like you said, group costume. For my brother's first marathon, because again, I'm a twin. We dressed up as Tweedledee and Tweedledum for his first full, so it was kind of cool. We didn't finish together because he had some anxiety. So he was like, just go ahead and leave me. But he finished, and I'm super proud of him for his first marathon. But it was cool for us to be able to do that together. So it was nice.
Yeah. I think it's a whole nother level. And then because every race is themed after
Mm-hmm.
something, and when you even try to tailor it to the theme, then it's on
It
a
gets,
whole.
yes.
Definitely.
So yeah, it's fun though. I love it.
So, do you have a one particular race that is your favorite of all?
Yes. Um, I am not a huge Star Wars fan, but that the Star Wars half marathon has to be my favorite. Um, Strictly because of the characters. Along not with just the characters on the course, that is when I've seen some of the most creative costumes, like for Star Wars weekend. So that by far is my favorite weekend. So two, it tends not to be as crowded as some. Princess weekend is like straight diva mode, so and very catty. I still like to run it, but it tends to be a little more chill for Star Wars weekend. Plus, it's a little warmer being in April in Orlando, but that has to be my favorite.
Yeah. I've not done Star Wars weekend yet.
Mm.
I
Well, registration opens up next week.
Oh boy.
Look, and it's also the fifth anniversary, which I'm definitely running because I've ran all five of the Star Wars marathon weekends. So I'm definitely gonna run that just to keep up with my status of hey, I've ran every Star Wars weekend. But so I'm excited because normally on anniversary weekends, it's a little bit better. You get a little bit more bling, or the race medals are a little bit better. So if you're interested, like I said, registration opens up next week. We can do a group costume. I'm excited. We
Oh,
got
you
time to figure
tempting
it out.
me.
We
Wait,
got
is this pass holder registration or is this like
pass
general
holder.
pop?
Yeah, no, pass holder registration is actually on the 11th or 13th, and then general registration opens up July 16th. So
Okay.
yeah, just a little peer pressure,
Oh,
just a little
I
bit.
may actually consider it
Yeah.
because I definitely do want. I'm not doing any races this year.
Hmm.
I'm trying to rehab my knee. Like
Okay.
my age is catching up.
Yes.
But I definitely want to do. a race.
Mhm.
Uh,
Well, I'll tell any Disney fan, do one. Um, be it the 5K, because with most races, there's a time limit, of course, but with the 5K, there's not. Because the race does start at 5. The parks don't generally open until 8, 7, 8 o'clock with the magic hour. So you have plenty of time to walk 3 miles, get all the pictures you want, with a lot of characters. So I tell every true Disney fan, do it once because it'll change your life.
yeah.
You'll be like, I'm coming back to do this again. So again, that's how my brother became a runner through Disney. He doesn't like to run. He'll tell anybody, I started this because I ran a Disney race and now I'm kind of hooked on Disney races. So yeah.
Yeah. I only run Disney. That's me.
Yes.
That's the only time you're gonna get.
Yeah.
I might
Well,
do some a little bit, but
yeah.
yeah.
Well, since having my son, it's made it a little more difficult, like going out of town for races and stuff. But my husband, he loves me, happy, Disney wife, happy life, all that stuff. He doesn't mind when I go to the Disney races. He knows that I'm going to my happy place. Um, I'll tell you, I'm so exhausted by the end of the weekend though, because I'm doing the race at 3 o'clock in the morning, then taking my son to the park, or taking our kids. But it's a full out, fabulous weekend. And I'm happy. He's happy. Everybody's happy. So it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah. I do the same thing. And I don't know where that energy comes from. Like I do the same thing. Like I'll go like that weekend. When I ran all 3 races, you best believe I was in the park right after I came
Yes.
to the room, showered, and hit the park up. I think I even
Yes.
stayed for fireworks. Like,
Yeah. Well, see,
yeah.
I don't do the fireworks. You're better than me. But you have to get those coveted pictures with your medals in front of the castle, in front of this with this character, depending on who is the character of the race, so it makes it for a busy weekend, but yet fun-filled weekend for any Disney fan. So
Yeah. You definitely have to have your picks for Medal Monday. You got to
yes.
show it off. And then everyone congratulates you in the parks when you have your medal on.
Yes. And it's funny because funny, but it's not funny. Last year, um at the end of the year, we have started taking like our full meta pictures of every Disney race that we ran that year, the previous year. Well, last year, 2 Black women walked up to me and I was like, oh my God. And I was like, what? They was like, we want to do that. She's like, you're the first Black people we've seen with all those medals. And I was like, well, come on, girl. I said, I'll be here, but it felt good for somebody to see you and say, hey, I want to do that too, because it is a good thing for us and health wise to run Disney. But it was good to know that I was motivating somebody else to want to run too, to see that. So,
Yes. Yeah. When you hear the clanging.
or your neck hurts. My neck, like, it's like my neck is broken because you're carrying all that stuff. And yeah, but the pictures look amazing after you do it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then the characters, everyone's like so excited to see you with 3 or 4 medals around your neck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or more if you do your, for your whole year.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, and getting them autographed if you want. So
yeah. Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot of great memories for us that we're creating.
Yeah.
With us and our kids.
So have you ever encountered the balloon ladies?
Not physically during the race, but at the end of the race, my friend's gonna kill me. I will not call her name. She has been with the balloon lady several times, so I had to wait on her. They are very sweet ladies, though. There are sweet ladies that get a bad rap. They're just there, and they're there every race. They will take pictures with you, and they're very encouraging. From what I've heard about, telling you, come on, keep going. If anybody doesn't know what the balloon ladies are, they are 2 or 3 lovely ladies that are the last ones to start every race. Of course, most races are given a time limit. These ladies are your last resort. If you see them, you better haul butt. Because otherwise you will be loaded onto a Disney bus and carried to the finish line. You will still get your medal, but the goal is to finish. So they're very nice.
Yeah. I mean, I've gotten close encounters, but
okay.
no intimate meetings. I've yet to see the
Okay.
bus, but yeah, I've come close.
No, I just got to pass them. But yeah, we were the first year of Star Wars before they worked out all the kinks. We were actually waiting. That's what I said. They're very nice. We were waiting to be taken from Wide World of Sports back over to Epcot where we were parked. And they were in line with us and they were just talking. Very nice ladies. That's what I said. I haven't met them on the course, but I did get to spend a little bit of time with them while we were waiting on transportation at the end of breaks.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, they serve a good purpose because what better visual like reminder, like
Yes.
like you need to go than
Yes.
some beautiful
Yeah.
Mickey balloons lighting up at you, telling
Right.
you, "Hey, I'm coming for you." So
I'm telling, and then they're just walking on. I mean, and they walk. Those ladies walk fast.
yes,
They walk
yes,
fast.
they keep the pace.
Yes, and it's funny, but not funny. So many people stress like, um, because I sign up for the alerts on my phone, so I have different ones texting me. Where's the balloon lady? Because they know I always check my phone. Where is she? What mile are they? I'm like, trust me, you're fine. Just keep
Yeah,
going. You know.
yeah,
So
I've heard that too. Oh,
yeah,
there are miles such and such, or
yeah.
like, oh God. So I have
So
one
yeah.
question. There's this.
Okay.
I think it's the same person. There's this one
Okay.
person, and mind you, I'm in the last corral, so
Okay.
plenty of people are finishing before I'm getting there. There's this one person that always runs back after they get their medal and like says, "Look, this is the medal. You're almost there."
You,
Like this.
you talk about the guy that stands on the
Yes.
bridge, like yeah, I think he's there
I don't
every
know if I
race.
love him or if I
Oh,
hate him because I know he means well, but it's like,
yeah.
dude.
Like, I mean, because, and two, again, if you listen to the comments of people, like, I think most people hate him because they're like, because most of them he looks so
Mm-hmm.
refreshed. And, you're like, he's probably one of those 6 minute mile
Yeah.
people. But he's standing on the bridge, like, look, this is what you're going to get. And you're looking like, dude, I'm going to kill you. Especially, I'll say for myself, not every race has been a good race from minor injuries. So regardless, sometimes you don't want to see that dude there. So, but yeah, he's there every
Yeah,
race.
I don't know.
Every
I'm like, I know
race.
you mean well, like you trying to encourage people, but it's not doing that. It's not working.
Yes.
Like
No.
just go eat a Mickey bar somewhere.
Right. Or be at the finish line with me a drink. That's what I would like. Have me a beer at
You
the end. Even
know?
though I don't drink beer, I'll drink one anyway. So, yeah.
So true. But I mean, it is what it is, right? It is what it
Yeah.
is. So,
Hey, he's
yes.
support.
At the end of every race, you get your
Mm-hmm.
medal, you get a cooling towel, I want to say, and you get a box of
Mm-hmm.
goodies. So
Yes.
in that box of goodies is chips and cheese dip.
Yep.
Are you team cheese
The
dip?
coveted cheese dip.
Are you team cheese dip? Are you like, oh, I gotta get my cheese dip?
No, 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 no. But for anybody out there, my brother is team cheese dip. We literally have run friends that find us, and then he takes a picture on Monday morning with stacks of cheese. So the stuff is
Yes.
gross. It's gross. My son won't even eat it. He'll eat the chips and he'll look at it like, no, mommy, it's, it's nasty. But he loves it.
Wow.
He loves it. And he will even ask for two boxes. Normally he's like, can I have two? And they're like, sure. But no, team cheese dip is nasty. So for anybody out there, avoid it. But you'll be surprised the number of people who like it. I am not one
It's
of
a
those.
whole crew. It's a whole crew of people. I'm not gonna lie, I have tried it. Like,
Yeah, I have too, because you get real
yeah.
hungry. But then it's like, I'll pass.
Yes. Yes.
So,
For sure.
yeah.
For
So
sure.
he collects it. So when you come down to the next race, find me, and I'll give him your cheese
Okay.
dip. He'll be happy. He'll thank you.
Gladly. I will donate the cheese dip to the cause for sure.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite moment from all of your races?
Favorite moment. That's hard because there's so many. But and this is not my moment. And most of my moments aren't mine. It's just so many moments and memories. But um my husband loves Disney, he hates Disney weekend, run Disney weekends. He refuses to go. But a great moment, I did talk him last year into coming to Star Wars. And thank God for the awesome photographers. They got the perfect image of my husband and my brother running behind my son. Like, that's a moment that, like, I'll forever remember. My son with um two of his most positive role models in a picture with him. And my son's kind of looking over his shoulder like, come on guys. So that for me, when he was able to run with my son and my brother was there too running, that's like been one of my best moments.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
And I'm glad it's captured on, like I said, I have a picture of it.
Right.
So
That's
yeah.
so beautiful.
So no accomplishments for me, but just, a family moment that, like I said, when he gets a teenager, I'm like, look, see that costume that you didn't want to dress up in as Chewbacca, so he's gonna hate it.
Well, hopefully he'll understand the love behind it.
Yes. And my husband's shirt was like, let the Wookiee run. So it was, and then I think my brother's shirt was like Princess Protection Agency or something, because he has two girls. But it's a good moment. It's a great moment.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So, in your running group, uh, is there a lot of diversity? Are there other Black runners that you run with?
Um, it's interesting because I can count on my hand. Maybe there's five. I'm in one particular run group that I support a lot. It's called the Independent Run Disney Princesses. What it is the girl who created the group, Kelly. It was just a way of people meeting, so that way you can per se have somebody to run with, have somebody to wait with you, at that 3 o'clock hour, while you're in the crowds prior to the race starting. So that I found the group because I met Kelly at a race. But out of that group, I can strongly say there's 5 Black women. And it's kind of crazy. Out of the 20,000 runners, if I see 100, you know, um, and there's this myth that Black people don't run. We do. I have a lot of friends that run, but they just don't run Disney. And I'm like, hey, come run Disney too, because it's great.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
So,
it's my thing now to try to spot, you know, other people in the crowd.
and right. And I've come across a few through the whole new shout out to this Disney diversity movement. I've, became friends, IG friends, following a couple ladies like, oh my God, they run Disney too. I think one warrior goddess, I think she's on Instagram, I'm seeing her name right, runs a lot of the Disney races. And it's funny because I've seen her before but didn't know her. And I've sent her messages and be like, I know I've seen you at the races before. And she's like, yeah, she's kind of like me. She's at most of the Run Disney events. So it would be great to see more representation because, like I said, we do run, and let Disney know that Black people, our money, we spend our money too, because the race weekends can be expensive. But hey, we are here.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We should definitely work on getting a little crew together. We
Mhm.
can have our Orlando crew. We all different versions
Yes, yes.
or something for Star Wars weekend.
Unfortunately, when I tell some of them, the price tag, or they see, then it becomes, oh my God. But I'm like, that's no more than any of the international races that you run, or some of the others. It's all on what you want to
Right.
do.
Yeah, I feel like
Mhm.
it is pricey, but I feel you get your money's worth. Like these medals are dope.
Yes,
Like I mean, I don't
yes.
like I said I only run Disney, but the couple of other runs I've done,
Hmm.
like the medals do not compare to what you get.
Right.
The entertainment is not compared. I mean, the snacks,
Yes.
even the little cheese, it's pretty
Right.
good.
Well, right. And even for me, as running other races, the support. My very first marathon was not at Disney. It was in Jacksonville, Florida. Um, I'm not toot my horn. I just found out I was pregnant, so I think I was about 8 weeks, and I still decided to run because my doctor was like, "Girl, you're fine. You've been running, so what?" But I was like one of the last people to finish, and there was no one there.
Mm.
So I know when my brother got ready to run his marathon, I was like, "You're going to Disney." And he's like, "Why?" I said, "Because you'll have the support you need." I was like, I almost quit the marathon I ran because there was nobody there. I said, "Trust me, you're going to have 20,000 other people or however many people that Disney has to support you." And he did, so in that alone, if you're thinking about running a race, make Disney your first because it's the support there. A lot of people say they run, "Oh, I ran my first 10K. It was horrible." You won't have a horrible experience at Disney, regardless if you finish or not. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I agree. Even like, I don't even know if I should share this story, but okay. So so my first Run Disney race was the Wine and Dine,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
2016 weekend,
Okay.
and I finished that race. I had brought down my own support system. Shout out to Marie. She was my running
Okay.
coach, and she ran with me. And
Awesome.
as a way to celebrate, I actually booked a cruise to hop on right
Okay.
after. I was like, look, I'm gonna run and then I'm gonna sit. I'm gonna sit on this boat and chill. So that's what I did. So we finished the race, and then that weekend, or that after the weekend was over, we got on our cruise, my family,
Mm-hmm.
and I ran to run the Castaway 5K, Castaway 5K, and that was election weekend.
Oh wow.
That was the day after the
Look,
election.
did you get your absentee ballot
I
in to
did.
see?
I did. I put that
Yeah.
in
Okay. That's
well
all that
before I
matters.
left. And so, I mean, I'm on a boat. I'm
Uh-huh.
feeling good because I just ran a half marathon, and the returns are coming in. I'm watching on the boat. I was like, I'm turning this TV off. I'm going to bed. So I didn't even watch it. I just went to bed. Woke up in the
Good.
morning, turn on the news. Okay. I'm in the Bahamas. I'm like, should I stay?
Let's
Should I
turn the
even go
TV
back?
back off. Right. Turn the TV off. We gonna get lost. Like you said, we gonna get off the boat and don't get back
Yeah,
on. But
look,
yes, I
listen. I
understand.
was like, we got our passports. I don't even know if we even need them. Like, we could just chuck them and just live on Castaway Key right now.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm
Yes.
getting up early to do
Love
this race. I got the hater blockers on because I was just not.
it.
Woo, my headspace was somewhere else. And so, I'm doing this race and I'm just like shuffling because I'm not
Just
a happy
human.
person right now. And being
Yeah.
a black person at Disney, you're not around a lot of people that look like you,
That look
and
like
you don't
you.
know what's going on with these people's heads. Period.
Yes.
You know. And so I'm just running, looking left and looking right, like, was it you? Was it? But I still enjoyed myself.
Best. Oh
It was
my
still
goodness.
happening.
Best run story ever.
It was still positive vibes. Everyone was still
Yeah.
supportive of each other,
Yeah.
and
Well, Disney, I tell people when I walk into Disney, I'm in a different world anyway. I'm not on the United States
right.
anymore. I'm somewhere else. That's how I feel when I get to Disney. So it's all good. You weren't even,
I
so
will say that
yeah.
the people, the staff at Castaway Key, they were very understanding.
Cool. Yes. Yeah, I bet.
The looks that they gave, they were just like,
Yeah.
you need an extra towel? Here's an extra towel.
And I'm actually hoping to do that. Me and my son are going on our first Disney cruise in October.
Yay.
And I'm hoping to do the Castaway 5K. That is the only, I guess, outside of doing Paris, I haven't did Disneyland Paris yet. So that's on my list as well.
Yes, it's hot, but it's cool. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a 5K. There's plenty of water
5K
stations.
are cool.
It's
So
it's it's it shows you the whole island. It's not a huge island, so it
okay,
shows the whole island. Um, but it's cute. It's cute. It's a good little workout.
yeah, cool. To start the
Yes.
day before you spend the rest of the time
Just
at the
relaxing,
beach. So
exactly.
nice,
So, yeah, it's a
cool.
good little workout to get done. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
but yeah,
excited about that
that day
coming.
was just like, I will never forget that day. I will never forget that day ever.
Oh
Yes.
yes, I love it.
So before we wrap up, is there one thing about yourself that you would like for everyone to know?
Uh, um, I want everybody to know, my new Disney IG friends, I am not a stalker. Um, I comment a lot on stories, but I am not a stalker just because I like to communicate with people. So don't think like, man, this girl is crazy because she's always commenting. Plus, I love IG stories. I almost don't even look at like the news feed as much as I like looking at the stories. So if I comment and I'm saying something, I'm just saying hi. I'm not a stalker. So that's what I want people to know about me.
That's cool. Yeah, I feel like it's like commercials almost. It's like,
Hmm.
okay, get you. All right.
So, yeah, it's enough of the day. It's enough to see. And then, okay, well, when I get some time, then I'll go back to the news feed, and check that out.
Yeah.
So, and also, real quick before we hang up, thank you so much for even doing the podcast. Um, I'll say this, not that I'm so old, but I love that I'm seeing younger Disney fans because from where I'm from, we're like the only Black people that like Disney. And it's funny because everybody's like, y'all can't like Disney that much. And I'm like, yes, we do, and it's the standing joke. Where y'all going this week in Disney? I was like, possibly. So it is so good to see more people of color that like Disney as much as I do.
Yes.
So,
Yes. I'm so happy that we're finding
yeah.
each other. And
Yes.
it's my pleasure. I love everyone's story. I always brings joy to my heart. Like you don't even know.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I didn't think that I would enjoy it this much. I didn't think that it would make as much of an impact as it has on me. So
Yes.
you guys are also doing me a favor. So
Yes. Because I tell my husband, he's like, babe, I don't know who these people you're talking about. I was like, yes, you do. Remember this one I was telling about on Instagram? They did it. Baby, I don't know those people. So.
Yes, we're a little community, and we're gonna start mingling more. We're gonna really get to know each other, and we're gonna be a real family. And I'm just excited for everything that's about to happen for all of us. I love it. I'm
Sounds great.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and talking to me.
Well, thank you so much for
I
having me.
appreciate it. I love it. I'm gonna really think long and hard about this Star Wars thing. I'm gonna try to make it happen.
I already got our costumes in mind, so just come on.
Okay. Let me figure out how I'm gonna fix my wig. We're gonna make it happen.
Yes.
And if people want to know more about you or find you online, where can they do that?
I've kind of steered away from Facebook. I'm on Facebook, but again, that's mostly for family. I'm just on IG. I tried to do a blog like when I first had my son, but I'm like, I work full time. I can't keep up with this. So I'm just primarily on Instagram at mom.running.through.Disney. So a lot of me and my little one. My husband's there. He just doesn't like to be in front of the camera. He's behind the camera. And just chronicling my days at work, my time with my son, and our Disney life.
Awesome. And I will be sure to link your page in the show notes so everyone can find you and cheer you on.
Thanks. Yay.
And maybe even sign up for a race or two. So if I do sign up for Star Wars, if we make it a thing, I will definitely announce it and encourage people to get on board. Even if I don't, listen, y'all, go sign up for a race.
Yes.
Go do it.
You have a year. If you sign up next week, you have a little bit under a year to train. And hey, we can do this.
So go sign up. Don't wait for me. Go do it. You won't regret it. Trust. You won't. Sign up for 1, sign up for 2, sign up for 3. Just do it.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
But thank you again. I really appreciate you taking this time out to talk to me. And I'll see you on the course.
Thank you. You have a good night.
You've just heard my conversation with Jocelyn. If you've never considered doing a Run Disney race, you definitely should. There are so many different themes and race lengths, including 1.5 mile fun runs that they do in the resorts, so you can definitely find one that suits you. There's also Run Disney races for kids, so if you're not a runner yourself, you can maybe get your kids in on the fun. If any of you would be interested in joining me to check off running during the Walt Disney World Marathon weekend from my bucket list, I will gladly make it an Afros and Pixie Dust family affair. So let me know by messaging me on Instagram at Afros and Pixie Dust, and I will get started on organizing it. Let me know, y'all. We can do this. We can support each other. You don't have to run all the races. You can run one, you can run all four. You can actually do 5 races by running all 4 races during that weekend and then getting on a cruise and running Castaway Cay. I'm just saying, it could be a situation. Let me know. Y'all know how to find me. The POC-owned small business for this episode is Shelly Rio Boutique. It is an Etsy shop that specializes in tutus and custom shirts, which work great for running costumes. So go check out her stuff at www.etsy.com/Shelly Rio Boutique. And the D23 Expo is right around the corner, y'all. If you'll be in the Anaheim area, be sure to come through for our first official meetup. The D23 meetup will be on that Friday, August 23rd at 6 p.m. at the House of Blues in Anaheim. And like I said before, it is very close to the Anaheim Convention Center, so you can hang out, get some food, increase your glucose stores, so when you head over to camp out for Saturday's activities, you won't be dying. And if you're planning to go, head over to the website, afrosandpixiedust.com/events, and RSVP so that I'll know you're coming. And as always, if you've enjoyed what you've heard, please be sure to rate, review, subscribe, and share this podcast with all of your friends. And also be sure to join me in the Afros and Pixie Dust Facebook group so we can chat more about running Disney. So until next time, never stop deep conditioning or pursuing your happiness.